Well, hey everybody, my name is William Lawson, and this is Fight Back Media. I trust that you are well, and I want to get this video out today. The last video we did was called COVID Crazy, and this one's going to be called Mandate Madness, because it's just madness, and the mandates are coming. You know, my idea was that I heard from somebody. Oh, I think I saw it in a meme or something. Oh, great, we're going to do all the stuff that didn't work the last time. We're just gonna do it again, and do more of it. And there are mandates, coming. In D.C., the mayor of D.C., Muriel Bowser, has called for residents on Friday, on this past Friday, to mask up again, regardless of your vaccination status. The mandate applies to those over the age of 2 years old. Things have changed throughout the course of this pandemic, and we have to adapt too, Bowser said at a news conference. I think it won't be a big lift for folks. She reiterates the message later on Twitter, saying, by masking up, we can protect our community and keep DC open. Bowser also linked to a district website for more information for the latest mask guidance. Yeah, wear it over your mouth, wear it over your nose, whatever. The mandate went into effect at 5 a.m. on Saturday, raising questions about the timing, considering that hours earlier, Mayor Muriel Bowser was posing maskless with my boy Dave Chappelle, who's from D.C., celebrating her birthday. They were partying like it was 1999, no mask. They were just woo. Why? Because it's rules for thee, not for me. Yeah, we gotta do that mask mandate after my party. It's my party. I won't mask if I want to. Yeah. It's insane. In November of 2020, Bowser also came under fire for breaking her own COVID rules after she attended a victory party, you remember, for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in Wilmington. You know, despite deeming travel to Delaware high risk and noting that traveling for non-essential purposes, you must self-quarantine for 2 weeks upon returning, the mayor traveled to the celebration party anyway. It was a party. It was, we beat Trump. No matter how we beat Trump, we beat Trump. So I'm going to go. Rules for thee and not for me. And this is part, as we go through this mandate madness, this is the part that is actually causing the left more trouble than they ever could have anticipated. Because so many people on the left and Democrats are so used to just going along because, well, you know, they really mean the best. You know, we really mean the best for everybody. We're trying to protect people. We're trying to save lives. We're trying to save lives, right? They've been so busy doing that and believing that, to where now it is becoming more and more obvious, painfully obvious for a lot of people, really, that these people, they don't have anybody's best interest at heart other than their own. We're going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the beginning of vaccine mandates, because vaccine mandates have started and may be coming to a business near you. It may be coming to your business. So we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back. I'm going to talk a little bit about that and what that means, and a little bit about what your rights are. I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you what to do legally. I can tell you how I feel and what I'm going to do, because I've already decided what I'm going to do. But we're going to take a little break. We'll be back right after these messages. Thank you for coming to Fight Back Media Again, my name is Willie Lawson. The website is fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. We'll be back right after this.
We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice.
Now, do you wish like you had a third term? And I used to say, you know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. I'd be fine with that.
And those who cause violence in its name are criminals and thugs, including the KKK, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and other hate groups that are repugnant to everything we hold dear as Americans. We are a nation founded on the truth that all of us are created equal. We are equal in the eyes of our Creator. We are equal under the law, and we are equal under our Constitution. Those who spread violence in the name of bigotry strike at the very core of America. 2 days ago, a young American woman, Heather Heyer, was tragically killed. Her death fills us with grief, and we send her family our thoughts, our prayers, and our love.
All right. Well, again, thank you. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We appreciate it. Excuse me, I'm getting a glass of water from my Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl winning cup. It's mandate madness. Mandate madness is coming. However, in the rules for thee and not for me category, the U.S. CDC chief has said, after some mismanaging of the message from a couple of days ago, that there will be no federal mandates on COVID-19 vaccines. Well, it's not going to come from the federal government. And you're probably wondering, well, why not? A lot of leftists are wondering why not. Are they not wondering for why not? They know, and this is something that we have to really, really take careful note of. What they know is this, that politically they will not survive. They will not, let me help you. They will not survive politically if these mandates come from Joe Biden or if these mandates come from Congress. They're already losing politically. They're being challenged in places on Congress that they have not been challenged in years. Real conservatives have a shot of winning very important races. In the recall election for California, our buddy Larry Elder, friend of the show, is leading in the polls after getting in literally dead last, shooting to the front of the pack. So even the election, the top two in the, because of how they do it in California, the top two in the general election, it looks like at this point now, there hasn't been a vote cast, but at this point, Larry Elder could be in one of the top two spots and have a real shot at becoming governor of California. Not in some foolish, ridiculous way of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but a real live dyed-in-the-wool conservative that will at least be the gridlock to keep California from going any further off the edge than they already have been. And they know this. and there are Republicans and conservatives who are in strong positions everywhere. So these mandates can't keep coming from the federal government, or they know that we will rightly assign responsibility for not only the mandates but all the madness and all the misery that they cause. I may know that. So of course, the federal government is not going to do this, but they have operatives. This is a Reuters story. From Washington, U.S. U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said on Friday that there will be no national-wide mandate for Americans to get COVID-19 vaccines. Clarifying comments she made earlier during a televised interview. She said, to clarify, there will be no nationwide mandate. I was referring to mandates by private institutions. They're acting agents. Facebook, Alphabet, Google, Disney. Earlier on Friday, when asked by a Fox News Channel interviewer, are you mandating a vaccine on the federal level? Walensky said, that's something that I think the administration is looking to. Well, apparently she was told, shh. President Joe Biden's administration has been seeking ways to increase vaccination levels in the United States at a time when some Americans have persisted in their refusal to get the shot. Biden on Thursday urged local governments to pay people to get vaccinated and to set new rules requiring federal workers to provide proof of vaccination or face regular testing, mask mandates, and travel restrictions. It's coercion. These mandates are just coercion. If they don't just say it outright, they make your life so hellish that they force you into taking the jab. One of the things that I've been thinking about for a while has been this. We all know that these companies, these drug companies, Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, we know that there is no legal recourse if you take this genetic experiment into your body and it goes bad. You can't sue them. But I wonder if you work for Disney, and I think the word in the street that Disney is requiring everybody who works for Disney be vaccinated or take the shot. I have to stop using the word vaccinated or vaccine, because this really isn't in the purest sense of what we consider a vaccine. It just isn't. It's some sort of weird genetic experiment. That in order to work for them, you have to take the shot. What if the shot goes bad in your body? There isn't a medicine, natural or synthetic, that works for everybody. There isn't. There just isn't a medicine that is natural or synthetic that works for everybody, that everybody can take. There isn't. Or maybe some of this delicious water, possibly. So if you can't have legal recourse against Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson or whomever, if this genetic experiment goes bad in your body, are you going to be able to have legal recourse against the people who are coercing you, and I'll use that word, to do this in order to maintain your job so you can continue to feed your family? And if that's not coercion, then there is no such thing as coercion. If you don't have to, but if you don't, it's going to make it really, really hard for you to feed your family. Good luck. Interesting. Asked on Fox News interview whether she understood the resistance to a federal mandate would face from people who think the decision on getting vaccinated should be made by them and their doctors, Walensky said, I completely understand the pushback. But Walensky this is not unlike other vaccines that are mandated, such as for school children, for healthcare workers, staff working in hospitals. I don't work in a hospital. Most of us don't work in hospitals. So we don't have to wear masks 4 hours, 5 hours a day. We don't do surgery. We're not surgical nurses, or we're not surgeons. So why are we going back to that? Why are they mandating this stuff? There's a couple reasons, and one of the reasons is simple. We are back in the theater of distraction. Look right here, look right here, look right here. We're back here. They are robbing you blind of your rights. That's what that's all about. Here's an article from QKED, which I hardly ever use because it's pretty leftist. It is workplace vaccine mandates. Can employers require you to get the shot? The short answer is yes. The short answer is yes. Federal guidance of this week suggests the law is on the side of the employers. Vaccination can be considered, quote, a condition of employment, akin to a job qualification. That said, employment lawyers believe that many businesses will still will want to meet hesitant workers halfway. Below are some of the common questions regarding the, let's see, can my employer require me to get the shot? Yes. Which employers have ordered the vaccine requirements? Mostly people who work in healthcare and Disney. Now, why do I keep mentioning Disney? Because Disney is in front of the amusement park or theme park world, and what Disney does, Universal does, and what Universal does, so does SeaWorld, and what SeaWorld does, so does Six Flags. Are there alternatives to the vaccine mandate? Yes, it's something that you're going to be hearing about called a soft mandate. So let's say you decide, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Then the soft mandate says, listen, okay, so that means you have to wear a mask. We're going to single you out. You have to wear a mask, and you might have to work different shifts, or you might have to work from home, or some such thing. Or you don't get to travel for business to advance your career because you're working from home, or you're working in an isolated area, or it's too much to have you travel because you haven't taken the shot, so we can't have people like that traveling. It's called coercion. Now they're going to call it a soft mandate. Yeah, soft. Now, here's how, my friend Chris Hall said in the movie, in the Non-Compliant movie, and if you haven't seen the Non-Compliant movie, you need to. You can go to noncompliantmovie.com, noncompliantmovie.com, and watch the movie. It is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. As a matter of fact, you can go to our Fight Back Media Gear store and buy the t-shirt that says, "No, we will not comply." And it has noncompliantmovie.com. Half of the proceeds for this particular t-shirt we're going to give to the Non-Compliant Movie Project. The movie is out, but there were massive expenses to this motion picture that I'm sure that Chris Ann and JC are still recovering. And we just want to bless them for their efforts. So you can go to our Teespring store, look for Fight Back Media, and go to that store and get the "No, we will not comply" t-shirts. Very simple. It just says "No, we will not comply." in white on a black t-shirt, and the noncompliantmovie.com address, and on the back it just simply says no. KrisAnne says very, very beautifully that our most powerful weapon is peaceful noncompliance. Basically just saying no. Well, we're not doing that. We're not closing our business. We're not taking this genetic experiment into our bodies. No, we're not. We can, and we're learning we can't just trust taking these people to court. He mentions a scenario where if you knew that if you were going to take me to court for something, even if it seemed like a lock, but when you got to court, the judge was my cousin, the jury was my sister and brothers and my mom and dad, you wouldn't have much chance of winning. And this is what this is, especially in federal court, where an entity sues the federal court system, or a state sues the federal court system, but who puts the judges in these positions? Well, the president, and these are federal judges put there by people who are federal entities. So things are easily stacked against you. And the case of some hospital workers in Houston proves this out. And this is an older story from back in June, but let me go ahead and relate it to you. A federal judge threw out a lawsuit filed by employees of a Houston hospital system over its requirement that its staff be vaccinated against COVID-19. The Houston Methodist Hospital system suspended 178 employees without pay over their refusal to get vaccinated. Of them, 117 sued, seeking to overturn the requirement and over their suspension and threatened termination. In a scathing ruling Saturday, U.S. federal District Judge Lynn Hughes of Houston deemed the lead plaintiff, Jennifer Bridges' contention that the vaccines are experimental and dangerous. And what we do know is that they're experimental. That's true. But this judge said, because he's a judge, he said that her claims are false and otherwise irrelevant. That these are not experimental. Well, they've never been used before. And some of the bad things that have happened under regular conditions, these things would have, these trials would have been stopped dead in their tracks. However, it's not happening right now. He also found that her likening the vaccination requirement to the Nazis' forced medical experimentation on concentration camp captives during the Holocaust to be reprehensible. He was also ruled that making vaccination as a condition of employment was not coercion. Yes, it is. Here's what he says. Bridges can freely choose to accept or refuse a COVID-19 vaccine. However, if she refuses, she will simply have to work somewhere else. If a worker refuses an assignment, changed office, earlier start time, or other directive, he may be properly fired. Now, how this judge is connecting, you need to work in this office instead of this office, with, you have to take this thing into your body that you don't trust. How those two things are the same. Do you think those two things are the same? If you work for someone and they said, you have to have this operation, or you have to be, if you're a female, you have to have your tubes tied. because we don't want pregnant women. How far would you think that would go? That would be a pretty invasive thing, right? We don't want any pregnant women. Even if you're working about, say if you're working around drugs or material that are deleterious to the health of a pregnant woman, well, you can't be pregnant and work here. So it is a condition for employment where you're going to have a tubal ligation. How far would that go? That'd be some sort of medical thing that you'd have to do in your body in order to work there. Jared Woodfield, a Houston lawyer representing Bridges and other clients, promised an appeal. The problem is, when you have these kind of appeals, they take what? Cashola. And do you know what the federal government has? Actually, they have access to all your cash. And the insurance companies have access to the rest of it. All my clients are fighting this unjust policy, Woodfield said in a statement. What is shocking is that many of my clients were on the front line treating COVID-positive patients at Texas Methodist Hospital during the height of the pandemic. As a result, many of them contracted COVID-19. And as a thank you for their service and sacrifice, Methodist Hospital awards them with a pink slip and sentences them to bankruptcy. Employees had a June 7th deadline to complete their immunization. In a Tuesday memo, the hospital system's CEO Mark Boom said that 24,947 employees had complied with the vaccination requirement, and that 27 of the 178 others had received their first 2-dose vaccine and wouldn't be fired if they got the second one. The rest are subject to termination. He also wrote that 285 other employees received medical or religious exemptions, and 332 were deferred because they were pregnant or for some other reason. No, we will not comply. The link is down in the description box. No. This mandate madness, it forces you to take a jab, a shot of something that we don't really know much about. That doesn't really seem to be working as well as we're being told that it's working. No. Our answer is no. Thank you. No. My name is Willie Lawson of the Fightback Media Group, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. Thank you ever so much. Check out the morning report on fightbackmedia.com and everywhere you get podcasts. Everywhere you get podcasts, Monday through Friday. We are on our 356th, 7th show. Can't wait to see you there bright and early on Monday morning. Till we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.